Hey, what up guys, it's your favorite Asian robot, and hopefully one day I'll be your favorite Diablo 4 content creator. Now today I've got a video essay for you. I know I don't normally do this, but I was thinking that some topics about Diablo 4 might warrant some actual discussion, and don't worry, this is not going to be one of those 30-minute long video essays. I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible while sticking to the facts, okay? So I'm already out of character for video essayist, you know? But anyway, here we go. Alright, I think that personally the unique drop rate in Diablo 4 needs to be increased, especially for the class-based uniques. Let me explain why I came to this conclusion, alright? So basically, for those that don't know, I did a 3-hour morning stream where I target farmed several dungeons that are supposedly ideal for dropping staffs. Why? Because I was trying to get the Great Staff of the Crone for my druid, which you're seeing in the background there. The problem with this is that in the whole 3 hours, I didn't even get a sniff of it. Not one single one dropped. And the reason why I decided to measure at about 3 hours is that that is the average free playtime that the average adult has in a day. So well, a lot of people say they're casual players. I say they're normal players, you know, because casual has negative connotations. But basically, this casual crowd is the one with the highest disposable income. They're the ones buying most skins. They're the ones buying most of the bells and whistles for the character because they can afford it. They're usually working, okay? So they've got the money. And on top of that, they usually support my streams as well. Thank you guys so much. So, jokes aside, basically, I feel that within a 3-hour slot, maybe I should at least get one. Because here's the thing, when you get a unique, sure, the stats and the affixes are basically always going to be the same. The affixes don't change on a unique. Neither does the unique effect, but it still has a range which it can roll, meaning that you need to roll multiple uniques in order to get a god roll. You also cannot trade uniques, so even if you find a great one, you can't give it to your friends. All right, you have to use it. It's account bound. So in 3 hours, you're telling me that I didn't even get one that I needed for this build for my druid, and that was it. You know, that's my, and that's if I was, you know, not a content creator glitching in and out of reality, as you can see, because I don't even have a green screen. I'm just using software. If I was not a content creator and I was just the average guy working a day job, I may not even get 3 hours in the night, maybe 2. You know, but 2 to 3 was my standard free time back when I was working as an accountant. And, you know, the way I see it, hey, you should be able to at least get one within that 3-hour time slot, because that's how you cater to the average player. Like I said, you want these guys interested and invested in your games because they've got the disposable income. You may not have the time to play as much as the no-lifers or the younger adults, the teens, the kids, but hey, they've got the money. Unless you're hoping that retirees play who have all day and money, but you know, well, I don't know how many of them will be interested in Diablo 4. I know a couple of the older crowd are, but you know, not everybody, yeah? All right, so now that you understand this, let's walk through the process of how I did this theoretical test, okay? So what I did was, excuse me, I went to this website called Diablo4.life, which has several tools on its website. They've got databases, trackers, all that kind of shenanigans. But basically, you can use this tool to like target farm a unique. Now, what is important to understand about this is that you can filter by class as well, which is really, really helpful and stuff like that. However, what I'm going to say in advance of this is that, for example, let's click Druid, right? There are some uniques that are Druid only, one of which is the Great Staff of the Crone, which many of you may recognize is used for Stormwolf builds, things like that, yeah? Okay. If I were to select that, it'll show you several dungeons where there is a heavier proportion of the monsters that drop the base item type, okay? Take note, this is stated here. This does not take into account the actual unique drop chance, okay? This is only an indication of which base item, i.e. staffs, are more common, all right? So Fallen and Cultists tend to drop the most. So I was actually doing my testing in Lost Archives because it's a fast dungeon, relatively, and I was also doing my testing in Cultist Refuge, which contains a lot of cultists and also Fallen. So these two were my go-tos, and I realized that it was probably smart, more or less halfway through the stream, to start rotating between them. So I started farming these heavily And during that entire 3-hour stream, now I also did Serpent's Lair. Okay, I also did Serpent's Lair. But the Serpent's Lair, unfortunately, has a vast majority of snake-type enemies, which drop boots. So I realized that Serpent's Lair probably less efficient than Cultist Refuge and Lost Archives, which to me looked better overall. Okay? Now, as I tried to farm these, as I tried to so-called target farm these, I actually ended up with a Temerity, which I'll show you guys. Work with me, buddy. Okay, I actually found a Temerity, which I'll just quickly show you. And it dropped with like, you see, everything, any unique that drops, right, may not be like maximum roll. Like the all stats roll is close to maximum, sure. Potion drop rate is close to the minimum. All right, the lucky hit is close to is minimum. The healing received close to minimum, and the unique effect is minimum. Like, yo, I'm gonna have to drop multiple Temerities to try and get a really good roll. This is the problem that I'm trying to describe in this whole thing. All right, this is the big issue. All right, so I'm just gonna put on the footage in the background while I talk. Here's the thing that I feel. All right, we have a big problem because around this 3-hour playtime, all right, which again I say is the average for, you know, the player base that you most want to capture, they're going to be driven away from classes like the Druid. They're going to be driven, well, actually it's only the Druid that has this problem, because the Druid, as far as I know, is the only one which has builds that require a specific unique. Now there are others for other classes, okay, but they're mostly more niche, not really the main builds. But the Druid, Pulverized Werebear, Stormwolf, all of these require uniques, some more than one. And if you're telling me that in a 3-hour stream I could not get a single one except for freaking Temerity, which wasn't all that great, while target farming, I say we have a problem. What is my solution to this? Okay, I personally think, now like I said, this is going to be pretty short for a video essay. You know, I know these normal people make these like 30 minutes long or so. There's no point. I'm just gonna get straight to the point. No devil's advocate play here. I'm gonna tell you, my solution is this. I feel that class uniques should drop more often, so that you can at least get 1 or 2 during a session. Will this make them less rare and less valuable? No, because you still need to get a high roll on the affixes. It doesn't matter that the affixes are fixed, you still need a high roll. Compared to that, what I learned is that these normal dungeons, probably when you're at level 100, which actually confirms one of the articles that I read, would probably be great for hunting for a god roll, because you can clear them so fast. You get a fair amount of loot, and at level 100, you're probably going to be rolling the best possible loot, and even in a normal dungeon, which you're going to be breezing through because of all your Paragon point bonuses and all that kind of stuff. You will literally be sleepwalking through these, and you're along the way of target farming a unique, you're probably going to get god rolls for pretty much every other slot that you're working on, you know? But the problem is that when you're in the leveling process and you cannot play a build that's going to get you through the content, or you have a build that you really want to try, but you literally cannot try it until, what, you get to level 100? That is a big problem. That is a huge red flag to me, because Diablo 4 has one of the highest sales that I've seen for a game of this type. People are flooding in that have never touched this type of game before. But you know what turns them off the most? The fact that for one of the classes, which is a fan favorite, the Druid, all right, lots of uniques are needed. Uniques that cannot be traded. Like, I can understand why they did not want trading of uniques. RMT is a big problem. As it is, I'm already aware that players do have created sort of a economy for god-rolled rares, which they're going to transform into legendaries. All of this already exists, okay, and will always exist in games like this. RMT already exists because there are several websites where you can buy Diablo items, not for gold, but for money. I have no trouble with the ones trading it for in-game gold, because whatever, you know, I don't care about that. But it would be very nice if they could, you know, clamp down on RMT without affecting our actual gameplay. All right, this is what I'm saying is the issue. So since we already cannot trade these uniques, why not buff the drop rate? It's not like we're going to be sharing them with our friends. We're only going to be sharing them with ourselves. So my first solution, honest to God, please buff the class-based unique drop rates. All right. This would probably help out druid players a lot. It may not affect other classes very much because other classes tend to use more general uniques, like sorcerers make great use of Fist of Fate. All right. Many classes make use of Penitent Greaves. These, fine. If you don't want to buff the drop rate on them, I'm okay, because playing on any character, you might get them. So for those that like to play more than one character or who have more than one main, you know, they're going to be like, okay, whatever, I'll get it when I get it, and I'm just going to play the game. Problem is that for those that usually play only one character, all right, and they're devoting their 3 hours of playtime to that one character during the season, it is extremely frustrating because they shouldn't be waiting. Like, I can understand why many companies like to have this wall of RNG, you know, it's to extend the content life, because that way, you know, people are playing the content over and over and over and over again, just to try and get the stuff that they want. But this makes a game frustrating, and it actually leads to casual players putting the game down more often than not. And that is not really what you want with Diablo 4, because this Diablo has gone in the direction more similar to an MMORPG. Part of that is playing with your friends, playing with your community, playing and enjoying that social interaction. That is a key aspect to this, which needs to be taken into account. But the problem is, they're not really thinking about that. They seem to think that, you know, 3 hours fine, you know, no uniques, that's a you problem. Yeah, you got Temerity, but it's you know, doggy doo-doo, but you got Temerity. You know, that's not really what we want as players. You know, and I could be wrong. Hey, this part of the video essay starter pack, I saw this once in a meme. I could be wrong, but tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. Tell me if you disagree. I want to have a discussion with you. That was also in the video essay starter pack. But anyway, I want to have a discussion with you. Genuinely, I want to hear what you guys think. Because this is my first solution. Buff the class-based unique drop rates. You can't trade them anyway. So give them to us. You know, let us make use of them. Let us smell them more often, and we might make more use of them, right? Then, the other solution that I have for this, that was solution 1, here's solution 2. Solution 2 for this is a little bit not good. And I'll tell you why I absolutely disagree with this solution. However, it's also a solution. Don't account bind uniques. Or let us at least reroll all the affixes on uniques. We can't trade them anyway, right? But if you don't account bind uniques, at the very least, we can trade amongst our friends or clanmates. You find something really good, you can give it to your clanmate who might be searching for that. He might need it. One time, I dropped 2, what's it called? The chess piece, Mad Wolf's Glee. Or was it the other one for the werebear? I can't remember the name, but never mind. Let's assume it's Mad Wolf's Glee. And I couldn't even give it to my friend, because I already had one. I already had a Tempest Roar as well. You know, although a second one didn't drop, but still. I already had a Tempest Roar, I already had Mad Wolf's Glee. I couldn't even give away the second Mad Wolf's Glee. Like, you're killing me here. You're killing me here. So, this is my genuine thought. I think that we need to improve the drop rate of the class-based uniques at least. Not only would that be a great solution to keep players more invested in the game, and also make it easier to round out their builds, but hey, it'll be a big help to many people who just want to play the game and don't have enough time. One of the biggest things that I've actually heard from my community, and I hear this all the time across all sorts of different games, lots of people get turned off by longer grinds. They're like the hardcore players will always play as many hours as they can, but a game does reach a point where it gets unfun. And don't forget, there's a lot of competition in the market. There's a lot of different games that we can play, and the more that a game requires player attention focus to be solely on that game, the less players actually play it. Because eventually it becomes boring, and it becomes a grind, and you're just playing once in a while for fun, and then maybe you put it down for a very long time. Diablo 4 mitigates that with seasons, but I'm going to tell you right now that this is not a long-term solution. Okay? This is not a long-term solution. This game right now has one of the biggest capture rates in the market. Season 1 is going to be a big plus or minus story. All right? And if you want the music to keep staying plus, you want people to spend on the skins, which people already think is shit, but sometimes they'll just buy them to support the company. Look, you want all that, and I'm telling you right now, buff the unique drop rates for class. The class-based uniques should be dropping like water so that we can all have them. So that for our class, we should be getting all this stuff. We should be seeing it more often so that we can make use of it in our builds if we want to. This is important for the class-based stuff. You don't want to, like the ones that are in general, you want to buff them, fine, but at least buff the class-based ones. All right, this is my advice. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that my first video essay was not too much of a trauma for you guys. I tried to keep it as short as possible while getting my point across, also explaining my thoughts in as clear a manner as possible. Thank you very much for watching this. If you like my content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, the first 100 people who watch anything have a huge impact. The first 1,000 people who watch anything have a huge impact. So please hit the like button if you are amongst the first 1,000 to watch this, okay? I'll be very grateful to you. And before we go on, let me also thank all of the channel members and our top supporters who help us make this type of content. All right, so give me one moment. Let me pull up the listing. Oh, and the link to the stream where I did the target farming is in the description of this video. You can check it out if you want to see my 3 hours of doing nothing but target farming and getting absolutely nothing. All right, if you really want to see it, it's there for you. Okay, now let me start by thanking the top big wig supporters. Top tipper is Zane Hoagland. Top super chatter, Zane Hoagland. Best super chatters list, Mike Cawthon, River Archer, Kenzo Hashirama, Raised Reality, and our top membership gifters are Sabingu, as well as Mike Cawthon. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys continue to enjoy my content. And now, here are the channel members that make all this stuff possible too. Alright, starting right at the top, at Plus Ultra, we've got Death Dawning 982, our longest standing member. We have OG, Rogue Assassin, Zach NFG. Thank you all for being prestige. You guys are amazing. Thank you to all of our honored robots as well. Marcel, Kaishiwa, Bob John, Maxim Lotz, Corey Ryu, Devin Lashin, Mookie Mocha, Rena, Chase Taylor, Nathan Strong, Sabingu, Lady Neo, Joey Danze, Darverse, Che D12, I'm Peeps, Syed Assad, Coda CMF, Kami SMH, Conrad C, Nate the Great, and Benjamin Savage. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for me. All right. And please comment your thoughts. What do you think about this? Let me hear you. Let me hear your voice. All right. I want to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you on the next one. Okay. Did I just touch my mic? Sorry about that. Catch you later.